Okay, Marshall, so tell us a bit about the board. There's some pretty big names associated with it. Ross Beaty, obviously. So, who put this thing together?
So, this was a Lumina Group effort, and, Ross, and then we have quite a few long-term investors that have been involved with the story. Rick Rule, Aziz Sharif. Management owns quite a bit of Ross and management owns quite a bit of the company, about 27.5%. I've got about 4% of the company myself. So we're really well aligned with shareholders, and that's been kind of the philosophy of all the Lumina Group companies.
Right, and who are the active members in terms of the project itself?
So I act as the CEO. Scott Hicks is VP of Corporate Development. Martin Ripp is the CFO. Martin's been involved with the Lumina Group companies for quite a while. In country, our Vice President and Country Manager is Diego Benalcázar. He's our Senior VP. Diego is an Ecuadorian geologist with substantial experience in Ecuador and internationally, and he's been a key player. And then on sort of government corporate affairs, John Ewell, who's been with the Lumina Group for quite a while. Leo Hathaway is the key guy as far as geology goes. He's been with Ross and myself since 2004. So we have a senior management team that's worked together on quite a few of these projects, both through Lumina Copper and today.
Right, and how do you deal with the local issues? Because you spend a bit of time in your deck talking about that. Obviously, it's a fairly new mining jurisdiction. So how's that work?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I'm directly involved myself a lot with the government relations and actually in the field with the communities as well. Diego Benalcázar, our country manager, is real key. He's based in Ecuador. John Ewell, our VP of Government Affairs, is down there every couple of weeks. And so basically, we've got a pretty robust corporate social responsibility team focused on community relations. And we've got quite a few people in the field in our camp, good relations with the local communities. We don't have indigenous communities in the area, and the closest community is about 7-8 kilometers away. We have a lot of programs with them, several employees, and it's primarily agricultural areas. So a big focus of the company is on CSR and community relations, as I mentioned.
Right. Okay. And given the team has been together for a while, this is a long-term play in terms of getting this thing to production. But that's not necessarily your end game. So can you explain what your business plan is?
Right. Yeah, so basically we acquired the asset in 2004. We were an early mover in Ecuador. We saw things were changing. We did a lot of work compilation and put a big portfolio together. And then you probably saw last year in August, we split Luminex Resources out of Lumina Gold, and that was more earlier stage copper projects. And subsequently, Luminex has deals with BHP that we're working on now, with Anglo American and with First Quantum, and that's more of an early stage exploration play. So the philosophy with Lumina Gold is that this is a development project. It's on the development pathway. It's large. Right now we have 4 drill rigs in the field, and we're drilling. We're doing exploration drilling. We have a new discovery area called Gran Bestia, that's separate from the main Cangrejos deposit, and I can give you a bit more details later. Yeah. And we're doing the geotechnical, hydrogeologic, environmental work, also doing a pretty robust metallurgical testing program, and we're supporting all that with these 4 drill rigs. So far this year, we've drilled about just shy of 8,000 meters, and it's been divided between Gran Bestia deposit, where we have about 6 drill holes, and plus 200 meters of drilling, and that's really exciting because it's got the potential to change the whole project, make it even bigger. You know, the PEA had about a 400 million ton project that we had identified, so it was roughly a 16-year mine life, and there's a lot of things beneficial to the project in Ecuador. It's close to a port facility, it's close to infrastructure, power, roads, that sort of thing that'll help the project. So back to your start of your question, the idea here is to continue to understand the magnitude of the project, to de-risk it technically, socially, environmentally, and then move the project on to somebody that would build it. we're looking at initial capital cost on the project of over $800 million. And then an expansion in year 5 that would require another $400 million roughly. So it's a big dollar project. And, we're a one asset company, a junior developer. So, it's logical that a major or mid-tier producer would take it on and build it.
So if I just understand that, obviously the management, the board, friends and family have got about 27.5% of the business. Who holds the rest?
So Ross and the management own the 27.5%. And then I would say friends and family beyond that put us close to 50%. And we have a lot of long-term investors that have followed the company, the Lumina Group through Lumina Copper. And it's pretty strong investor base in Canada, the US, and Dubai. That's been a lot of the history of the people that have followed us.
Right. Okay. And that, in that context, they're high net worths or are they retail?
There's a bit of both. We also have some funds involved. We have a couple funds out of California and in Canada and New York that are following us. So, but we do have a retail base. We just recently listed on the OTCQX in the US to try to get a broader investor base in the US. So I would say there's a mix of all of the above.
So, I mean, the reason I ask about the shareholding and the type of shareholders is the plan, the business plan, as explained by you, it seems to be we're going to drill a whole bunch more and sort of work out the size of what we've got. But how do you put that in the context of explaining to existing shareholders or new shareholders coming in what the plan is for creating value?
Sure. So, I mentioned the Cangrejos deposit, and we still haven't totally defined that. That's the main deposit for the project, and we're drilling it now. So, basically, there's an opportunity for that main deposit to grow. But Gran Bestia, which is about 1 kilometer to the northwest, isn't included in our resource that we used in the PEA. And we've got some really long drill intercepts that are above the cutoff grade that were included in the mine plan in the PEA. So it looks like we have either a satellite deposit that'll be a new starter pit for us, or it'll add mine life to the project. So basically, if you look at it, the PEA resource, we had about 8.5 million ounces of gold and 1 billion pounds of copper. So this thing is really large scale. So, and it's growing, and it's got the potential to bring the Gran Bestia deposit in. So if you look at where we're at in the market as far as share price, we're trading at a really high discount to NAV, and there's a lot of upside, and we haven't unfolded the whole story as how large this deposit is. And this is formerly a Newmont project. So what we would anticipate is, as we start to understand the larger nature of this and de-risk it, that there'll be a lot of upward movement in the share price potential with a gold price environment that's increasing. And we did the economics of the project at 1,300 gold and 325 copper. So that's roughly where we're trading in the market today. And there's a lot of optionality to the project. So if we go up to $1,400 gold, for instance, the project gets a lot bigger. So the upside is being able to come in now and low point in the market, or relatively low point. We moved up a bit since last year. And then as we add value and de-risk this, the potential to move up and ultimately dispositioning the company with a buyout.
Okay. I mean, you touched upon a couple of points there. I mean, you put the numbers in there at, well, 1,400 on page 7, 1,300 on page 11 on the gold, and as you say,
yeah.
The copper price is also quite well priced, considering the today's pricing. Why have you shown the numbers using those high prices? Do you think it's justified?
Well, basically, this study was done back mid last year, and at the time, those prices, we looked at analyst estimates, we looked at consensus, and looked at pricing going forward, and that seemed like a good place to be. At the time when we released it, gold was about $1,350, and then when we did most of the work, and then when we released it, it moved down towards the 1300 and a bit below.